Hello, I'm John Shepherd and I've got Jonathan Ilori with me and Marina Armstrong. So Marina, how did you get started?
Coaching, I've never really wanted to coach to start with, and it all started like normal. My daughter started doing athletics. I went to Epsom and Ewell Harriers to see what's going on there, and I was approached by 400 runners who asked me to coach 400 hurdles. They were in their last year of school, and I thought, okay, great, I'll help them for a year. And then that was in 2005, and I'm still here.
The requirements of a 400 metre hurdler, what do you think are the key requirements physiologically? Or is there a typical athlete that you say that's a 400 hurdler as opposed to...
No, I never look at athletes like that. I think the main talent that 400 hurdle can have is hurdle awareness. Everything else pretty much can be coached. Hurdle awareness is very difficult to coach.
By hurdle awareness?
Stride pattern, when athlete actually runs through the hurdles without stuttering, when they see the hurdle from 20 meters and know exactly which leg they will attack it from.
Is that to say almost anyone could be a full hurdler? Like you see athletes come from like maybe the 800 down or the 200 up.
I think yes. I think anyone could be 400 hurdler.
Okay. Is there any one better background then, going down that line? I know you said that you probably don't look that way, but do you think 800 metre gone?
It's difficult for me to say because the best athletes that I have, they've been with me since they were 13. So Jacob started as a multi-eventer, Shona as an 800 metre runner, Ola came to me as a sprinter, 300, 200 metre runner, so they all have different background.
Do you think there's a differential between a 400 flat time and a 400 time?
About 2 to 3 seconds. Okay. It is difficult to judge because there are 400 metre runners that switch to 400 hurdles and then try to run 400 and do not show the same times. There was a case of Sabina Busch. She was an East German runner. She ran second in East Germany, was running 49 seconds, I think, at the time. She switched to 400 hurdles. She ran world record, 53 something, and went back to 400 and never could break 50.
Volume of training, therefore, speed is important, but having spoken to Jacob earlier on one of these shows, you do a lot of volume training. We have to for 4 hurdles.
I do both.
Okay.
I do both. I do speed and yes, we do volume. So we train speed from day one as we come back in September, October. We do volume since they were little, so now it's quite easy for them. They're quite robust, so we're not increasing volume. We may be reducing volume now that they're senior athletes and they're fit. But I train hurdles and speed and volume as soon as we come back.
Do you have anyone that you go to as a mentor to learn? Example.
I've been very lucky. I'm good friends with Clyde Hart. So I go back to him with my questions, and he's incredible at answering back. Actually, that taught me how quickly I have to answer my emails. I have been lucky again because England Athletics, as you know, has been running those apprenticeship or mentoring program, which I've been a member for the last 4 years. It's stopped now, unfortunately. But we had incredible coaches come into UK from America. I listen to all of them. I listen to Lauren Seagrave and
I suppose Dan Puff.
Dan Puff, yes. I'm not a great believer in short to long in 400 hurdles anyway.
Do you notice any training philosophies when you look at coaches from different countries? Obviously you mentioned some American coaches and some European ones. Are there any differences in training methods? Or
I don't think so. I personally look at at training that we did when I lived in Soviet Union, at coaching I do now at American coaches. We're pretty much doing the same as we used to do. We just call it different. Which we used to call technique, we call biomechanics. Which we used to call weights, we call resistance training. But it's all pretty much the same.
You said you didn't favour the short to long approach. For those that are listening, that's where you train more quickly at the beginning of the season and then go to volume. Any particular reasons for that?
I use both.
Okay.
I use short to long and long to short. My week is very simple. We do over distance on Monday, we do recovery tempo on Tuesday, we do some kind of lactic on Wednesdays, we do weights on Thursdays, we do speed on Fridays, and we do hills, grass recovery on Saturday. So short, yes, every Friday we work on short. We're up to 30 meters now. It will go up and up to probably 120, and then what we're doing on Mondays is 800s, which will go down to 450s. That's where those two meet in the middle, and that's March.
With the 4 hurdles, it's our event, indoor seasons. So will you be in any way coming to some kind of peak in, well, not a peak, but a transitory period in January, February time where you move them to the outdoor season?
Well, even if we don't double peak in the winter, I always do a little peaking in February. I do drop volume a little bit. I get them a little bit higher.
And do a lot of your athletes run the 400 indoor?
It's not really their event. If they do like it, I let them run. But here indoor we have 2-3 meetings at the maximum, so it's not really a season. It's just to get out and get adrenaline going.
Do you have any backup resources? I think you do with your coaching in terms of masseurs and nutritionists and other additional help in your group.
We do have some support, or basically I work with one physio, and if they do like some other physios, I usually go with them to see what it's like. But it's all my personal relationship with those people that I work with. I have no support from governing bodies in that respect.
But you've got, is it Pilates?
Yeah, we have Kim Saher. I work closely with her, and when she can't work, well, she's a physio as well that we work with. So when she can't come and see us because she has 3 children and business to run, she gets a great YouTube channel that we follow.
Is that like the Pilates and the nutritional, that kind of stuff, has that been, I guess, implemented in the higher level athletes or since they were younger?
We always talk about nutrition. It's difficult, especially when they're young. When they're older, pretty much. It's nutrition I do myself. They do their own research as well. So we talk about it. And it takes time for athletes to realize that nutrition is as important as training.
We do have a little anecdote from Jacobs. I know you watched the video. Apparently he ran a personal best after a kebab.
I know.
That was a one-off.
I have a joke about it as well. It was from Clyde Hart, that he went to see someone in Florida in the nutrition laboratory, and they worked all night trying to work out the perfect meal. And nothing was working, so they were eating burgers. So they just thought, well, let's throw the burger in and see what's happened. They threw the burger in and came back nearly perfect. Just needed a little bit of acidity, so ketchup, there we go.
We better not do
that.
We're not recommending any particular burgers. Strength training aspects, we did have this debate, and so some questions were then posed on the channel in response to this video, with one particular guy saying, you should be doing more than 1 weight training session a week. But we talked about it, about the variations. But as I said, it must be difficult to do resistance training with all that volume of endurance training. I mean, do you think that there is a real value for resistance training to improve performance, or is it more about injury prevention?
Both. I think injury prevention on the long term, it's important. I'm not a weightist. We do a lot of conditioning, which is mostly injury prevention and strengthening, glute work and hip flexors, and we work on all aspects. But we do actually do weights.
Yes, Jacob, go ahead.
We don't do heavy weights. We stepped off from squats. We stopped off from deadlifts. But more specific, all our weight training is more specific to the event. So we do a lot of step ups. We do a lot of quick step ups. We do one-legged squats. We still do cleans, but probably hang cleans. And if my athletes were sprint hurdlers, I probably would have done more weight resistance training with them. As they're 400 hurdlers, we don't really need it as much, but we still do it.
But you're doing really well, or the athletes are doing really well, and I think that's a general point, that sometimes people think they need to do weights or a particular volume of weights, and you don't. You need to be doing the right weight training.
My best critical friends are my athletes. And when I mention it to Jacob, for instance, shall we do more weight, shall we change this? He just turned around and said, why would you change something that works? So I do take advice from my athletes as well.
Okay.